Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we are going to be profiling a really awesome deck that I actually thoroughly enjoy playing, and that is my Stardust Assault Mode deck. Yes, now there's a bunch of different Assault Mode monsters out there in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! You have TG, Hyper Light Assault Mode, Red Dragon, Archfiend Assault Mode. There's a lot of different ones out there that have come out throughout these. I think there's even a Colossal Fighter Assault Mode. But there's a lot of them out there. But Stardust Dragon, I feel like, is the best Assault Mode, really. I think the Red Dragon Archfiend one, that one's decent. But the Stardust one's really awesome. It actually did see play doing Dragon Ruler format. And I actually really have been into playing a lot of the Stardust-esque archetypes over this past year. A couple of weeks ago, guys, we did do a deck profile on pretty much like a Stardust Synchro version of Stardust, pretty much, where we're focusing on the new Synchron cards that just recently came out. That was a fun trip down memory lane in rebuilding that deck. But this deck I've had for a couple more years because this support initially came out of, I think it was like 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. They'll probably get some support eventually again because it's a Stardust deck, but Stardust Assault Mode is just such a fun deck, and Stardust Assault Mode is probably one of the best Assault Modes because it has built-in negation, really, and you can bring back Stardust and do all these crazy little things. So without further ado, let us get into the deck profile. So first off, you're going to be running your 3 Stardust Assault Mode. If you guys are not familiar with what Stardust Assault Mode does, I'm just going to read it to you very briefly. This card can't be normal or set. This card can't be special summoned except with its own effective Assault Mode. Activate. You contribute this card to negate the activation of a spell, trap, or effect monster's effect and destroy that card. If you negate an effect this way, you can special summon this card from your graveyard during the end phase. When this card is on the field is destroyed, you can special summon 1 Stardust Dragon from your graveyard. So as you can see, it can easily come back onto the field. It's a built-in negation, really. And I like playing this Stardust Assault Mode as a little bit of control-based deck. That's the way I think the best way to utilize Stardust Assault Mode. So you're going to see a lot of hand traps. You're going to see a lot of just good generic stuff that stops effects, stops monsters' effects, negates things. This deck is really good at going first, but it's also, you have to keep in mind, if you do go second, you do have the ability to bring out powerful monsters from your extra deck or just using your field to break boards and set up your own board as well. And that depends also on your side deck because you have a lot of cards you can side in and out depending upon if you're going first or second, really. Next we run 3 Side-Flame Reflector. Side-Flame Reflector, I know this was abused a little bit over in the OCG a couple months ago. I saw some really cool synchro variations of this deck. But this card initially was made for Assault Modes, and it's a really good card. It's pretty much a one card Stardust, really, is the way I look at it. And it's a great staple 3 of this deck. With E-Telly back to 2 of, it even becomes a better card because it is a psychic attribute type. Next we run 3 Assault Sentinel. Assault Sentinel, he's a decent beater, but that's not the main reason we run him. He's really good with his versatile usages he can have. We also run 3 Assault Beast. I didn't used to run 3 Assault Beast, I will be honest with you. But because Tenki went from 3 of, you used to run Tenki in this deck as a 3 of, but now it's a 1 of. Yeah, Konami, hitting random cards for stop main meta decks when you could have hit the main meta cards. I get the 10s are important. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. But besides that little rant, you can run this card as a 2 or 3 of. It's up to you to decide. Right now, because Tenki went from 3 to 2, and yes, I used it mainly to search out a Sentinel Beast, but I sometimes do in my certain hands would search out a Beast if I just didn't have Assault Mode activates, but I had a Synchro Stardust on the field and I could go off from there. So I'm being honest when I say to you, you could run this as a 2 of or 3 of. I'm testing it as a 3 of because Tenki is at 1 currently. If Tenki comes back, this goes back down to a 2 of, hands down. But that's where we run for the Assault Beast cards, so to speak. Next up, we run 2 Summoner Monk. We do run a okay amount of spells. You're going to see a lot of traps in this deck, but you have to keep in mind some things about these traps. but you do run some spells and they can become dead. I know a lot of people sometimes run multiple Assault Teleporter. I just run one of it because I just find that one of is good in case you get brick hands where you need to unbrick stuff. But certain spells, maybe you can pitch that they're, instead of utilizing them, it may be advantageous if you to discard it to a certain spell cards you have, so that you can get things like Assault, things like your Assault Beast, or mainly your Assault Sentinel on the field, to go off with that. Usually you're not going to do it with Assault Beast unless you are somebody that is running some extra deck monsters that are level 4, but it really works good with Assault Sentinel, and also it helps. It's another way of tutoring out from your deck your Psi Reflector, which is something you do have to keep in mind. So yeah, that's another way of just tutoring things out to help get plays started, etc. But we do run that some Summoner Monks in this deck. For hand traps, though, we run a good amount of hand traps, to be honest with you. We do run 3 Effect Veiler. Yes, I know this is a Yusei Fudo card, but we also want some effect negation in this deck. Yes, we have Assault Stardust, but I want to use that as my last resort because it's such a big body. If I can use my hand traps to negate your monster effects, and then, okay, I also have a Stardust Assault mode to negate pretty much anything. It's a Solemn Judgment on wheels. Then yeah, that's pretty good. We also run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs as well. More hand traps. This is very generic stuff. I know Crossout Designator is coming out. You can try to fit that in this deck if you want to. This deck is not going to be facing against mirror matches last time I checked. And pretty much if you use Crossout, the main things you're going to be hitting are pretty much these 2 hand traps, and that's about all, really. I'm being honest with you when it comes to generic stuff. But like I said, you can run whatever hand traps you really want to run. Ash Blossom's pretty generic. It's going to hit everything. Effect Veiler's very generic. It's going to help you negate everything. It's just good hand trap stuff that I like to use in this deck. In addition to that, guys, we do run a lot, like I said earlier, some good spells. So we're running 1 Assault Mode 0. This is just a great backup card to have in your deck. 1 Assault Teleporter. Some people, like I said, like running multiple of this card, and I get it. It's really good. If you open up with a brick hand with your Assault Mode, you get to add it back to your deck, draw 2 cards. Yes, that's cool, but this is a neg-1 technically. So you got to keep these things in mind. It's good. You don't want to rely upon it. It's good if you get a brick hand. That's it. And if it's dead, if these cards are dead, you just pitch them with Summoner Monk. There you go. We also run 2 E-Telly now that E-Telly is back at 2 of. There's no reason not to. It's going to make your Psi-Frame Reflector plays more live. That's the thing about this. We got rid of Tenkies, but we got us an Emergency Teleporter in the deck. So, I mean, you take your yin with your yang, but I think I'll take, a second E-Telly instead. So those are some of your spells you run. We also run 1 Tenki. If Tenki ever goes back to more than 1 of, guys, run more than Tenki, like I was talking about earlier. 1 for 1. This is another way of tutoring out from your deck Psi Reflector. If you have Summoner Monk on the field and maybe you don't have something to discard from your hand, you can maybe use your 1 for 1 instead. I do find sometimes, depending upon the plays and how the game is progressing, I sometimes will actually just have my Summoner Monk sitting in defense position, and I'll use it the next turn again to tutor things out from my deck. I'm just saying it does happen from time to time. But we also want 1 Called by the Grave. This helps you against hand traps, gets you problems with graveyard effect cards. Like I said, if you want to try to fit Nobleman in here, be my guest, but that's up to you. 1 Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin is just another great card to have. It's making it a 39 card deck. You do run a good amount of traps, so you're deck thinning, you're drawing to your cards. While this deck, I think, really deck thins pretty well to get to its traps. I mean, it's up to you how many traps you want to run, but I find that this ratio has been working pretty well because of like I said, the mindset of where I'm trying to build a deck that it's not protect the castle, but it's going to do it's more of a control-based Assault Mode deck. 1 Monster Reborn, we have a bunch of things we can bring back from Graveyard because, yes, we are control-based, but we go for a bunch of different combo plays and can utilize those cards. It's Monster Reborn, right? For traps, we run 3 Assault Mode activates. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. That's a staple, hands down, 3 of trap that you're going to run in this deck. You got to keep in mind that this card is pretty much going to help set up things. It's easily searchable through multiple different means, mainly your Assault Beast, which by discarding can set up plays for yourself. So it's definitely a staple 3 of in this deck. I really just consider this more of a card that you're going to easily search out, and don't just think of it as a another trap card you're running. For your traps that you're really going to be utilizing that are not going to facilitate your main plays, we're running 3 back to the front. Again, like I was saying earlier, you're going to be bringing a lot of things back from grave to reuse, re-abuse. Maybe you bring back a Stardust Dragon, you activate another Assault Mode, activate. Oh, cool. Now I got 2 Stardust Assault Modes on the field. I'm just saying. So that's why this card is really useful in this deck. I don't think you need to run Trap Trick or anything like that, but this works out pretty well. Next, I run 3 Infinite Impermanents. Thank you, Konami, for all my budget players out there. You guys are getting a reprint come the Cyber Dragon structure deck from last I heard, about a day or 2 ago. So that's awesome for you guys. But Infinite Impermanence in this deck is a staple 3 of. Why is that? That's because this card's going to help facilitate the way I'm trying to build this deck as a going first kind of build control-based deck of more negation I can put on the board. So that's really nice as well. You can negate multiple of your opponent's monster effects. Hey, that's a good time. I'm also running 2 Assault Counter. Think of this as like a Solemn Judgment as long as you have a Stardust Assault Mode on field. It does take some setup, but with the ease of this deck and its ability to go into Stardust Assault Mode, you just add another negate card, another Solemn Judgment. Some people, though, do just like running generically Solemn Judgment in their deck, their Stardust Assault Mode deck. That's perfectly fine. If you feel you want to do that, go right ahead. But I like Assault Counter because it's pretty much free. I can use this card first to negate, and then use the Stardust Assault Mode to negate stuff. Or if I got hand traps, you see how I'm trying to say. You use the cards accordingly until you have to use your Stardust Assault Mode. That's the way I kind of like playing this deck, because Assault Counter pretty much states activate only one, while you control Assault Mode monster, negate the activation of spell, trap, or effect monster's effect, and destroy it. It's pretty much Stardust Assault Mode. If you have it on the field and you have this, you're going to use this first, then Assault Mode. Onto your extra deck, we got to support our Yusei Fudo cards out there, guys. So we have my Stardust Field Center that my buddy got for me when he went over to Japan for Worlds a couple years ago. I also have my Yusei Fudo token that I got from a tournament ages ago. But yeah, my Yusei Fudo token, because we got to rev it up, guys. For your extra deck, though, we have my Stardust Dragon Ultimate Rare. Yes, I prefer the Ultimate over the Ghost. I'm just being honest with you. And no, I'm not running Honest in this deck. Ha! Yu-Gi-Oh! Jokes. But we're running 3 Stardust, guys. I decided to go with all the different artwork. You will be using 3 Stardust in this deck. I'm just saying. Next up, we're running our Formula Synchron. You will make this from time to time. Your level 7s, your Black Rose Dragon. Yes, the irony does not elude me that we're running Akiza cards in a Yusei Fudo deck. And we're doing this deck profile on Akiza, so, you tell me. Next, we got 1 F.A. Darn Dragster. The 1 Cyber's Quantum Dragon. I know this is in German, I think it is. This one I have, but, or Portuguese, I forget. But this is Cyber's Quanto Dragon. Then we run Void Ogre Dragon. I think this card's pretty good to go for in the deck. You sometimes do make it. It's another type of synchro that you can use to go in for control plays. It does happen because you gotta keep in mind, Psy-Frame Reflector is a Dark Tuner. Next, I run 1 Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. This is something I am just testing out, guys. I will be honest with you. I'm just testing out this card right now in the deck. 1 Cyphrome Lord Omega. This is generic level 8 stuff, guys. You're going to go for it. 1 BL's the Synchro Dragon. We do have a Dark Tuner. We can go for this if we need be. 1 Satellite Warrior. Satellite Warrior is super cool to go for and can be easily gone into. 1 Trishula, the Dragon of the Ice Bearers. I love this card in this deck. It's pretty good. And 1 Crystal Halcrea Fibrax, or aka Needle Fiber, you can easily go for Needle Fiber and go off with combo plays through those means. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck. I apologize, again, I am very tired when doing my videos because of life at the moment, but I want to get these videos out for you guys. So hope you guys all do like them. If you did, remember to leave a thumbs up down below, guys. Again, Fudo decks. I love these Stardust decks. You know, we actually did Black Wings. We've done Black Rose Dragon. I do have Fortune Ladies that I'm going to be working on for 5D stuff soon. So we're doing a bunch of different 5D stuff. Scraps I'm going to be doing as well because that came out during the 5Ds era. So I'm revisiting a lot of these Synchro decks because it's just fun. I'm in a Synchro mood. But hope you guys all enjoyed the video, like I said. Till next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling to all of you. Remember to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And subscribe for more awesome deck profiles on this channel. And till next time, guys, remember to rev it up. And good luck dueling to all of you. Take care, everybody.